Hey children, Sairam and welcome back to our second session of this lesson, that is the properties of seawater. In the previous session we have learned about the temperature and salinity, okay, which are the properties of seawater that we have learned in the previous session. Now let's continue with our lesson with an experiment. Now the experiment over here is going to show you the reason behind the high salinity of the water in the seas and oceans. Okay, high salinity or low salinity. Okay, that we are going to see in this experiment. So let's see this experiment first. Take 1.5 liters of water in a big container. Okay children, you are going to do this experiment and see. Take 1.5 liters of water in a big container, put 100 grams of salt in it and stir it very well. Now take 3 containers of same size. You can see over here in this picture, 3 containers are shown. Now to identify these containers, you have to put 3 dots of different colors on them. Okay, for you to understand which container is where and how. Okay, for that reason you have to put the 3 dots on each of the containers. Nextly, what you are going to do is put the water containing salt equally in the 3 containers. You have to put the water in the 3 containers. Make sure that the containers are half empty after filling the water. Okay, you have to make it sure that the container is remaining half empty. Now one of the container you will go and keep it outside. Okay, taste the water. First of all, you are going to taste the water out of the 3 containers. Okay, keep one in the sun outside, cover it with a mesh lid. Okay, cover it and keep it outside in the sun. Okay, next the other 2 containers you are going to keep it in the classroom only. Okay, that also you have to cover and keep. Now what you are going to do is every day you are going to put some fresh water in one of the containers in the classroom. Not both the containers, only one container. Now let's see what happens to these 3 containers. Next thing what you are going to do over here is, after 3 to 4 days, bring all the containers together at one place and observe the level of water in all the 3 containers. Taste the water in all the 3 containers. Now you are going to taste and see. Okay, then experience a difference in the taste. You will get a difference also in the taste of the water. Now you are going to write about all the 3 tastes in one line each in your notebook. Okay, now after this experiment you are just going to answer some of my questions here. In which container has the water increased or decreased? In general, if you are doing this experiment, okay, you should be able to give this answer to me. In which container has the water increased or decreased? Yes, the water in the container which was kept outside, water has decreased over there. Okay, then what could be the reason behind the decrease or increase? What could be the reason behind the decrease or increase? Yes, because the container which was kept outside, evaporation took place and the water was evaporated and so the water decreased. But did you notice that in one of the container the water has increased? Which container is that? Yes, the container which was there in the classroom. In that the water has increased. How it has increased? Because in the classroom there was no evaporation. Okay, or lesser evaporation we can say. Above that we were going on putting fresh water every day. Okay, a glass of fresh water we were going on putting over it. So what will happen over here? The water was increasing in that. Okay, what could be the reason behind the low and high salinity of the water in the container? Okay, so here why this salinity has become low or it has become high, that we are going to learn in this geographical explanation. So let's have a geographical explanation about this experiment what we have done just now. According to the experiment here, we can easily find out that evaporation has taken very faster due to the heat of the sun, and water has turned into water vapor and has reduced in quantity. But the amount of salt which was present in the water Has that also evaporated? No. The salt remained the same, and that also in the container only. Okay, so what happens? Salinity had increased of the limited water which was remaining in the container. Okay, so also in seas where the rate of evaporation is high. Okay, now in general, if we talk about the seas, till now we were talking about the experiment. Now if we talk about the sea, same way where the rate of evaporation is high, then the supply of fresh water, then salinity is high. Okay, in the seas where the rate of evaporation is high, that means too much of evaporation is there. Okay, due to the heat of the sun, and there is no supply of fresh water also to that sea. Then what type of salinity it will have? Naturally, it will have high salinity. Okay, then in seas where the supply of fresh water exceeds the rate of evaporation. Okay, at times what happens in seas, there are certain seas where the supply of fresh water is continuous. Okay, and it is more and more supply of fresh water is adding to the seas. In such a condition, what will be the salinity of that sea? Yes, the salinity level will be low in that sea. Salinity is not affected much in seas, where both the supply of fresh water and evaporation of water is low. Okay, salinity is not at all affected. If the supply of fresh water is also good in that sea, and if the evaporation is also very much low, then salinity cannot be affected. Okay, so this is what we have learned through this experiment. I hope children you will have understood till here. Let's continue. Now here, how is the salinity of the sea water measured? Now we are going to see over here how is the salinity of the sea water measured. The weight of all dissolved salts in water in ratio of parts per thousand of water is called the salinity of seawater. For example, if the weight of dissolved salts in 1000 gram of seawater is 40 gram, then the salinity is going to be 40% per thousand. Okay, what will be the salinity of such a sea? 40% per thousand. Okay, that is 40 per thousand parts. Now, how can we measure salinity? With the help of hydrometer, refractometer, salinometer. Okay, these are the instruments we can use to measure the salinity. Okay, next thing what we are going to learn is about the various factors which affects the salinity of seawater. Okay, let's have a geographical explanation about this. As you all know, temperature on the earth's surface is uneven. Okay, we have already learned about the temperature lesson in our previous classes, right children? Okay, so you all must be knowing near the equator the temperature is too high because of the perpendicular rays of the sun. Okay, while if you go away from the equator, as you are going away from the equator, the temperature is going to go on becoming lesser and lesser till we reach the poles. It is the, we can say, the least temperature over there in the polar region, just because of the slanting rays of the sun. We know about the uneven distribution of temperature on the earth. We also know the uneven supply of fresh water. Okay, just because of the uneven distribution of temperature and supply of fresh water, this affects the salinity of seawater. The seawater is affected because of these two factors. In tropical zone, now let's talk about the various parts of the earth wherein this salinity is differing. In tropical zone, temperature is higher. Tropical zone means near the equator. Temperature is higher and the rate of evaporation is also higher here. Okay, temperature is high means the rate of evaporation is high. So what will be the salinity over here? Yes, the salinity is going to be higher. Temperature high, rate of evaporation is high, so salinity is also going to be higher. But if you see around 5 degrees north and south of the equator, in this equatorial region, and this is called as the equatorial calm belt. Only in this equatorial calm belt there is an exception. The sky is cloudy for a longer period of time, and convectional rainfall occurs every now and then, every day almost we can say. Okay, we have learned in our previous chapter, right? Convectional rainfall takes place near the equatorial region. So here this is the part where the convectional rainfall is taking place. Large rivers also like Congo and Amazon in the equatorial region meet the sea. So whichever seas are there in this part, they are met by this large rivers like Congo River and the Amazon River. So therefore the supply of fresh water in this seas is abundant, more. Okay, but because of higher temperature, rate of evaporation is more. Okay, now it is near the equator, so naturally the temperature is going to be high. So if temperature is high, rate of evaporation is also high. Therefore the seas in these areas are more saline. Okay, in spite of having so much of a advantage over here, then also this area is having higher temperature, rate of evaporation is also more over here. So therefore the seas in these areas are also more saline. Okay, because the evaporation is also taking very fast, as this water is as they are getting the fresh water also, then also evaporation is also too fast here. So that's all about the tropical zone. Now let's move on to the next part, that is the mid-latitudinal zone. Just above the tropical we have the mid-latitudinal zone. Now what happens in mid-latitudinal zone? Mid-latitudinal zone is that zone between 25 degree to 35 degree north as well as south. Now here what happened, rainfall is less, supply of fresh water from river is also low. Therefore this zone which is there, it has many hot deserts of the world. Okay, many hot deserts of the world are found over here only, in this mid-latitudinal zone. Because of which the salinity of the seas over here is found to be higher. No fresh water. Okay, because the fresh water is not there, rainfall is also very much less. So the salinity of the seas over here is higher. Next is temperate regions. Now we'll talk about the temperate regions. We have learned about the temperate region. In the temperate region, the temperature is not too high nor too low. In temperate region, the sun's rays are slanting and therefore the temperatures are lower. Because of the melting of the snow over here, okay, just because it is almost near to the poles. So what happens? Melting of snow takes place, supply of water is also more over here, and therefore in this zone, salinity decreases with increasing latitudes. Okay, so what is happening over here? Salinity is going on decreasing with the increasing latitudes. Okay, I hope children you all have understood till the temperate regions here. Now the next part is the polar areas. Let's talk about the polar areas. You all know the condition of the polar areas. Hardly any rays of the sun reach over to the polar areas. So what will be the temperature over here? The temperature is going to be very, very low. If temperature is low, evaporation is also going to be very less. Okay, so what type of salinity will be over here? Salinity also is low. Okay, in the polar areas, temperature is low, evaporation is less. So polar area salinity is also low. Okay, so this is the distribution of temperature on the Earth's surface, and according to the temperature, the salinity also differs according to it. Okay, nextly we'll talk about is the landlocked seas. I have explained to you what is a landlocked seas. The seas which are there in the middle of the land, okay, are called as landlocked seas. Landlocked seas have highest salinity than open seas. Why? As the rate of evaporation is more, there is lack of supply of fresh water from large rivers. Because of all this reason, the landlocked seas have more salinity than the open seas. Now in open seas, many of the fresh waters they get, okay, they are joined to other seas also. Okay, so their salinity is not so much as compared to this. As we can say, the Dead Sea, the Red Sea, these are the seas which are landlocked seas. For example, the average salinity of Mediterranean Sea is 39% per 1000. Okay, what is the salinity of a Mediterranean Sea? 39% per 1000 liter. while the salinity of most saline ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, is 35% per 1,000. Okay. Now here we can see a do you know part. The name of the sea. Now here we are going to see about the Dead Sea. Again and again I gave you the example of the Dead Sea, that the salinity is more in the Dead Sea. Okay, because of this the buoyancy is also very much more in the Dead Sea. Okay, even people can float on the water. I had told you about this, right? Now let's see something about this Dead Sea in this part. The name of the sea itself gives an idea of the conditions there. The sea lying on the border of Israel and Jordan has a salinity of 332% per 1,000. Where 35% and 39%, and where is this 332% per 1,000? So much of a salinity is there in this sea. The average salinity of ocean is actually 35% per 1,000. Jordan is the only large river meeting this sea. Low rainfall, low supply of fresh water, and high evaporation are the reason of high salinity here. There is no life here except few unicellular organisms are found over here. Okay, the fish coming from the river Jordan die as soon as they come here. Okay, I had told you about if the salinity is unbearable. Okay, if the salinity becomes unbearable, then it causes harm to the aquatic plants and animals. I had explained to you about this. So here also the fish which are by mistake also if the fish come through this Jordan river and enter into this Dead Sea, there only the fish dies. Okay, the fish coming from the river Jordan die as soon as they come here because of high salinity. Saline pillars have developed. Some of them come out on the surface. The density of water is also high because of higher salinity. Therefore, one can never drown in this sea. We can easily float when we go in the seawater. Another characteristic of the Dead Sea is that the land here is below the mean sea level. It is one of the places having the lowest elevations on the earth. In some areas, the altitude is minus 400 meters. Okay, so this was the thing what you should know about the Dead Sea. You can see the pillars over here coming out on the sea. Next, the next topic what we are going to learn is density. Okay children, till now what have we learned about? We have learned about the salinity. We have gone through the experiment also, in which we have learned about the various seas, how their salinity is more and less. Okay, that we have already learned. Okay, so children, that's all for today. The remaining part of the lesson we'll do in the next lecture. Till then, thank you children.